Forgot. The last time I did this presentation, they were like, well, you have to do something about you. So these are my people.
Look at your little
my husband and I met at youth group when I was 13. I have a son that's turning 13 next week. Crazy, right? And so that was us. And then let's just silence that. And then that's me and my husband now. So that's fun, right? And then I've got a sweet little Emmeline. She's turning 10 in about a month, and she's like my social media queen. She's the best. And then my son Anakin, who's turning 13. He's quiet. So I've got one like extrovert, one introvert, same as mom's extrovert, dad's introvert. So there. But he looks more like me, so everyone says that. And then I've got my little Chloe Belle there. She is 16 and a half. So we are enjoying every single moment with her right now. She just recently got back into diapers. And even though that's super sad, it's the cutest. And I clean up less carpet, more diapers, totally fine with me.
Yeah.
All right, so that's me. I've been with the business for a little over 11 years. I started, gosh, there's so much I wanted to share.
You're not rushed though. You have lots of time. So say it all.
Well, I just wanted to share that I started the business because I had gone to this Dave Ramsey class about getting out of debt, and this was going to be my gazelle intensity to get rid of the first credit card, which was a J.C. Penney's for $200. and then after my first my first 4 parties in my first month, I made like $580. And so I paid off the J.C. Penney, and then I paid off whatever the next one was, and we started working on our small student loan like almost immediately. And I had said, and I think I'm mixing up my talks, but one of the things I said to myself is, I don't know how to cook. This is crazy, but if that girl can make fajitas in the microwave, so can I, until I find another gig, right? And after that, almost $600 of extra money, and we got to do the snowball thingy, and we had a visual and marked it off for our debt. I was pretty much hooked, and I was like, okay, we'll give it 90 days, and then okay, we'll just do it for 1 year and get rid of the student loan, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. So you can decide now, hey, Pampered Chef, no matter how long you've been, Pampered Chef's going to be this for me this year, and just do that. It doesn't have to be a big, huge, hard story that you tell yourself. It's going to take a lot of work, but I'm going to make it happen. You just kind of just go, just do it. Anyway, but what I'm going to be talking about is cooking shows. I started with cooking shows, and I think a lot of times, how do I do this? I'm not going to go cooking show demo, because we have one of those coming already tomorrow, but I wanted to show kind of the behind the thinking of it and break it down so that it can be nice and simple. So here's some of my thoughts, and I try really hard to take pictures. I'm old enough that the phone is not who I am, and I can put it down and actually I don't get stressed when I'm unplugged. So I usually, when I'm with people, I'm not on my phone. But I do at parties try to take a picture at each party, or have someone take one for me, and that way I can use that for social, right? Okay, first, so someone says, all right, I want to do an in-home party, and as soon as they book a date, I will set reminders in my calendar for 1 week out and 2 days out, because I just need a lot of reminders, and I know that 1 week out I'm going to be sending an ingredient list to my host, and 2 days out I'm going to have to be thinking about printing paperwork, making sure everything's together, do I have the right specials, that sort of thing, and I need those extras. I create a picture to save the date. I create a party in Consultant's Corner, although you wouldn't, oh yeah, no, you can't do that now because we're on the new system. I'll create a table party, and I schedule my in-person outline, which is anybody who's not on table, but so most of you have seen it. So in table, you can have these mini outlines, And I have one that's called In-Person Party. And so it's just like 12 or 15 posts that if someone were to come to the table and check out the online version, they would get enough to see products, get the shopping link, that sort of thing. And then I create a host packet and write a thank you note. So this is my host packet. I do a host bingo, and I came up with these on my own. I'm not great at creating like documents, and I know you're all gonna be like, will you please share this with me? You can have the slideshow. I made it visible to everybody. You're probably gonna have to make your own, because every time I send something to someone, it has to be in PDF or they don't get it. So I'm just gonna say that up front. You can have my PDFs, but I don't know how to make them changeable for you. So I don't have Word, you know. But anyway, host bingo. I do the at a glance flyer, the host rewards planner. Those two you find in marketing imagery. And then I just made my own like Frank's list. Pamper Chef has an invite 40. It just has a lot of color on it. And since I have a color printer, I was like, I don't need all this color for that. So I made my own. And then I print off a I put 2 order sheets in there, a catalog, and a thank you note. I used to just do a post-it, which is plenty fine, right? And it always says, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to party with you. Thank you so much for hosting. I cannot wait to for you to be able to reconnect with your friends, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. Thanks again for hosting. You mean more to me than you know. Love, Kate. That's it. It always says the same thing, because like, I just want them to know that it's more than just a party to me. Okay, and then once I've sent them the save the date, which I think I have a picture of, I'll show you that soon. But when someone books a party, I'm like, okay, oh no, I have to send this first. Okay, which theme looks best to you? And I have these little things. By the way, my trick is they could pick any one of these themes, and I can do this just about the same recipe at any of them. It's just branding for the cute little invite. That's it. Most people pick fajitas and margaritas. I found this on the web. What the heck? All right, don't let me forget that. Healthy in a hurry, budget friendly. I threw that one in. And then it says down here, 1 week before the party, I'll send a small food list for items to have on hand. You're welcome to have additional foods if you'd like. If you're unable to pick up food for any reason, please let me know before the party day. And so I don't trust myself to bring everything from the fridge and all the things. So I like my hosts to get food. It doesn't matter if you want to get food, that's fine. Some people are like, I don't trust them to get fresh food, or I don't trust them to get cucumbers instead of zucchini or whatever. So you can make that decision. That's just what I do. Okay, and then I say, great. Let's see, why can't I see this? Can I move this? All right. So I'll put together our save the date, and I'd love to know if there's anything on top of your wish list. Here's a direct shopping link. It's ready for orders anytime, and then you can take advantage of the pre-party challenge, and they get free shipping on their order with 3 orders before the party. And I do this for my online parties too, by the way. Most hosts don't even have shipping because they spend enough, but it's cool. It's like $7.95. I don't have to pay if they spend enough. Once in a while, the host will be like, I get free shipping. I was like, no worries, pick another rub, you know? So if they get 5, then they get a seasoning or rub of their choice. So that's what I send first off. Some people really like this challenge and others just don't do anything with it. But here's like an example of a save the date. I make this on Canva. Here's a save the date. I always recommend inviting 2 ways. Text is one, maybe Facebook or Evite is the second option. And I'll pay postage and send postcards if you send me a list of addresses. How does this look? I can make changes. And so I try to get this out within like a day of them booking so that they can start sending it to people. They've got their order link, like this is happening, right? So essentially that's how I get started with a cooking show. Anybody that does cooking shows, do you do other things that you'd want to share that's different or that you really like?
I was gonna try to do one this time and bring like small gifts and have, I looked up like party games and stuff like that to have contests to get, give them a mini scraper or something like that.
Ooh, like games at the party?
Yeah, like a scavenger hunt, like have people look like, do you have, like, whoever has the most of these items or something?
Yeah.
Wins a prize, or like a hot potato thing, or.
I like it. And there's this one on here. I do bring your ugliest kitchen tool and you could win a replacement.
Oh, you do it ahead of time.
So, and I also do bring a friend, get a free gift. And I used to put bring an adult friend.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was trying to simplify. But the ugliest kitchen tool, it's hard. Sometimes you forget when you get to the party and everything's crazy. And then someone will be like, why did I bring this ugly spatula again? Okay. So I just kind of, as soon as, it's like a nice icebreaker. Like, hold up your ugliest tool. And the other day we had a gal that had, it was actually a Pampered Chef Baker's roller. It was the wooden one, and she only had the roller part. Everything else had broken. She's like, I love this thing so much. It's the best size. So I just used it, and I was like, oh, I want to buy you a baker's roller so bad. But sometimes they'll bring the ugliest things, and we kind of make fun of them. And I was like, now, if I give you a prize, are you going to throw that one away? You know, it just kind of, you know, breaks the ice. I usually have a basket with me. I'm going to get there. Okay.
Katie, can I share?
Yeah.
So something I do, and we've done for years, I have a flyer, and it's on my teen page, but I can share it. It's the 5-15-5.
Yes.
It's the secret to a great show. Almost every time it'll work out to be $1,000 show. And so basically the same idea, but I tell them if they have 5 orders before the party, they're going to get this from me. If they have 15 or more guests, they're going to get that from me. And if they have 5 more orders, and I help them make the list before I leave the house, who didn't come tonight. 5 orders after, and then you're going to have 25 orders. And with 25 orders nowadays, you're going to have way more than $1,000 show.
Our average is up over like 87 or something. So yes, 5-15-5.
Same idea.
Magic.
Just
use that for sure. And that's a great thing if you do a host call to talk with them about that, or even have. At one point I had a document that was like 5-15-5, and that's.
I have it. Yeah.
Okay, so when they confirm. Okay, go ahead and send that out. Remember to invite anyone that eats. Here's a little brainstorm list, and then I do actually text them the Pampered Chef one that says, everybody eats, invite 40. That's in marketing imagery. And then a couple days later, here's the online event. Or actually, I have been sending this sooner because the table party. Here's the online version for anyone. You're going to get 3 types of replies. They're going to come, they're not going to reply, they can't make it. As soon as they can't make it, send them here. And 2 weeks before, hey, I know it's still early, I wanted to make sure that catalog came, and find out if you read through the bingo. So my bingo card, one of the item in the center, the free space, is tell me, or call me, then tell me you got the bingo card, that you read all of the squares. And I have received like 2 or 3 calls since creating this a couple years ago, but most of people will at least text me and be like, hey, can this text count? I say nope, but actually I count it. And then the week before, I send the email with ingredients, and I text them and say, hey, I just sent you an email, can you quickly take a look and see if anything gives you questions? And this is how I make sure they know they're getting the food. Or if I've had some be like, oh, I didn't realize I had to get food, that's, and then they can't, and then I can offer to buy it for them. 2 days before, hey, it's reminder day, where do you want me to park on Friday? I always try to ask that, because not that I care as much as I want a response from that text, and usually that's what they reply to. But I say, here's what you say to the people you think are coming, here's what you say to the ones you haven't heard from. I hope to see you Friday. I can't wait to see you Friday. And if they reply, what's Friday? Fine. You get to re-invite them. It's not too late. Okay, and then this is an example of the mini outline that I made on table. So I just created a party, and then I did an introduction video, the specials. I picked some from Power Cooking, budget friendly. I did a wrap up and invited them to my VIP group. And then there's a before we go video that's a booking and recruiting ask. So do people look at this? Probably not, but at least it's there if they need it. And I think I'm gonna get to that next soon. Okay, here's the reminder day. Oh, and I don't just text it, I also have a picture that says the same thing in case people don't want to read a long text. So see who's missing, make sure you text your yes invites too. Okay, so same thing I just said. And then during the party, arriving earlier, like to check out, scope the space, grab all the ingredients. A lot of times I'll just have my phone in the email I sent them and like make sure I've got everything. I usually prep mini stations, wash the food, wash the produce or whatever. And when I say mini stations, it's like I have a cutting board that has all the sweet stuff on it, and then like I'm doing an appetizer or whatever it is. If anything's loud, like the blender, I cook that right away. I've been making the caramel sauce in the blender. People like adore it, and it's homemade, but it takes like 30 minutes. So while I'm setting up, that that's going. So, and let's see. Yes, and the reason I get everything ready to go and preps, like if there's a whole block of cheese, I'm gonna grate most of the cheese so that it looks like I'm Rachel Ray. Done. You know, during the actual, I don't want them to see me peeling things unless it's just, look how easy it is to peel. Done. And I've already done half of it, right? A little like cooking show hack, right? They do it on TV. It's okay for you to do. But I want to be completely done, free, ready to talk with people. And sometimes hosts are, oh, and I think I put this in here. You got to read your host. Read your host. So who are you most excited to see? This is what I ask my host when I get there. And read their style. They may need to help you. Like, what do you need me to do? Right? And they're like if that stresses you out, then you need to give them a job. Like, will you please wash all the produce, right? Will you please clean the lettuce, whatever it is. If you find that they are one of those helper types, get them off your back by putting them to work and they want to help. And then you may also, I have this more often than not, it's like, oh, I can't believe you're here already, I gotta go fix my hair. I'm like, go, I'm good. Am I allowed into can I get into your fridge without you? Yes, do whatever you need. And they're like off, and you know, and I actually like that better because then I can like figure everything out. And then I try to say the planting seed, like, hey, okay, so who are you most excited to see tonight? Any long lost friends? And then that gives you an idea of how connected to their community they are. Sometimes you'll get, oh no, we see these people every Tuesday for a book club. And then other times it's, I haven't seen any of these people, I'm so excited, you know? And I usually say, now, are you wanting to learn the consultant side of it as we go? Are you just wanting to host? Like, are you thinking about being a consultant essentially? Almost always, of course, you know, I just hosting. All right, well, if that changes, let me know. And one of the things we're going to look for tonight at the party is I want you to get the 3 bookings. So if you catch wind of someone that's interested, they're more likely to be like, I'd host if she asked me. If you talk to them than me. And I don't want anyone to feel uncomfortable or that they're like salesy person coming in. So just like keep an eye out, you know, who do you think would be most likely to host that's coming? Well, this person's getting married, this person's this, and they'll spill all the beans. It's really great. And then you can kind of be on the lookout. Okay. And then the party outline, I'm gonna go really quick on this. I try to learn the names. How do you know your host? Have you ever been to a party? And I can usually help with drinks. So as they're coming in, I'm learning their names. How do you know them? Trying to connect it. Name tags are great if you have them. A lot of times I'll start the party and gather and introduce. I always bring the Season's Best Cookbook and say, all right, this is our gift to our host. It's gonna be our love note to her. So think about one thing that you love about her, and you're just gonna write this like old school yearbook signing kind of thing. So who's gonna go first? And I hand that, and they get that around. And then if it's a small group, I ask them to go around and share a favorite product and let them go ahead and share all of it. What do you love about, like, and this is how I learned about the products when I first started, because I didn't know Pamper Chef before I signed up, like 6 weeks before is when I heard about it. What is the food chopper? Oh, what do you use that for? Oh, you use it for carrots? Great. What else do you use it for? Does anyone else have this? Like, that is the main part of the show, because we live in a 5-star rating world, right? Yeah. They want to know what other people like. And you can talk about it all day, but if someone that's sitting next to them is like, oh, I gotta have the mix and chop, then they're gonna be more likely to get that. And so I let them talk, or if it's like a small group again, I'll say, okay, what's your favorite cooking memory? I'll start with mine, and I'll share that my grandpa used to put bush beer in the barbecue sauce, and I thought when I was a little kid that I was gonna get drunk if I ate the barbecue sauce. I didn't want my mom to know that I ate the barbecue. You know, and then everyone laughs, and then they kind of get it, you know. So getting to know them, giving people the space to talk. And then I say, let's get cooking, and then I share my faves. I kind of go through the stations, and I try to make it easy enough recipe that I've done it 400 times. I can talk while I'm doing it. I've practiced it. It's super simple. It makes it look like I know what I'm doing. I do the same things over and over. And then I do a spiel, and I say, okay, here's the spiel. You've been waiting for it, because they are, right? I was like, there's 4 ways to get free Pampered Chef. The first one is completing your door prize, and I'm about to pass out our door prize and catalog. So the first one is completing your door prize. The door prize slip is also your meal ticket. So once the food is ready, you're just gonna take your door prize, you're gonna bring it up, put it in the bowl, and then you can have your food. Got it? You know, it doesn't always work, but you know, it's helpful if I call it the meal ticket. And then I will draw for a free prize. The second way is to order and get free stuff. We have the $80 bonus. We have a $100 basket, which I'm going to show you in a second. I just bring a basket of stuff. They can pick it if they spend $100, $150, free shipping, and then I say hosting. You know, so-and-so's hosting. You could be their booking buddy, and you get free and discounted stuff. Average host gets like $200 free. It's freaking crazy. It's amazing. You get to connect with your friends. You get to learn a new recipe, just all the things, right? And then fourth, you get tons of free stuff when you're a consultant. And I started to pay off some debt, and I'm still here 12 years later. I don't know how. I wasn't a cook. You know, I just kind of share a little bit of my story. And I say, okay, those are the 4 ways. That's your spiel. You guys good? You ready to eat? Any questions? And you can play a game here too. And I don't let them eat or have catalogs before my spiel is over. And then I pass out my little catalogs. And they eat, and I usually, while they're eating, I'm getting anything I can into the the sink, rinsing it off so it's really easy to clean later. And at checkout, I say things like, what did you like about the party? Are you wanting to gather some friends? What about being a booking buddy? And then I also like to look at their order and then look them in the eye, because you want to like see them instead of just see their order. And I think a lot of times we're like at our computer and we're trying to take the orders and everything's going on, but like, oh, the salad choppers, so you really liked those, let me show you how to hold them. And I'll go get the salad choppers and I'll show them how to hold them. And then if it's like a kitchen spritzer, I'm like, make sure you burp it. And they're like, what? It's like, let me go get it. And like, I will take that time to do it, and it's that above and beyond. It builds a relationship, but also they're gonna like their products better, right? And then I try to get them into my VIP group on Facebook. Okay, I always take a selfie with the whole crowd, and I also hate when they're sitting, but this one they sat. Here's my little packet for each guest. It's a binder, and I cut the top off so that I can slip in the specials, right? Do you know what I'm talking about there?
Mm-hmm.
And then I have the printed order form. Highly recommend taking handwritten orders. I've tried the QR code, and maybe that's great for some people, but I have more people walk out without ordering. If you put a catalog and an order form in their hand, they're like already filling it out,
Yep.
whether they're planning to order or not. And then the door price slip. So that's my little packet. These binders, greatest investment. I mean, they've been going for 11 years. Most of them still work. And I do recommend black.
I just had like an aha. Like, remember when we used to be able to buy lap boards? At one point, I owned them.
Yeah.
And
These are lap
I
boards.
never thought about getting a binder
Yeah,
and cutting
they work
it at the
great.
Dollar Tree.
And yeah, if you get it during,
Back to school.
don't wait till they're on clearance at this point, but if you pick up more, you know, I got some at garage sales. I got some at Walmart when they were clearancing out after school season. Okay, and then making my own guest specials. This is my $100 box, and mention your host gets credit. I'll have the QR code off to the side with the special, and then these are my next 4 dates available, and they can earn an extra bonus from me if they like sign up for that night. I've tried this in this little thing, and I think I like clipboards better that like has a pen on it, and like, let's pass this around so y'all see the special. If you prefer to order online, you can do that from your phone. Like, you can grab the QR code. But that's what I'm doing right now, is I've transitioned to pass around. That way they can sign up for the date. And, okay, yeah.
Could you go back to that one?
Yeah, and again, Michelle you can share this slideshow. You guys can take all the ideas. Yeah. Any other questions about this one? Like, it doesn't have to be a big deal, but just a little something fun.
Do you make one of those for every guest, or you just pass it around?
This is just
Pass
one.
Oh, just one. Okay.
Yeah, it has like my next 4 dates,
Gotcha.
and they get an extra, I do $25. I don't like to suggest that if you're new or whatever, but $25 product credit. Okay, this is my door prize drawing. I handmade this myself. I like some of my questions better than the ones that come on Pampered Chefs. So the one I would recommend highly, would you, if today's host decides to sell Pampered Chef, would you help her get a successful start by being an in-person online catalog party? That, if they say yes or maybe, then that's the first thing I tell my host, like, oh my gosh, everyone said no to me for the hosting, but like 6 people said they would host if you were a consultant. You know, and it's not like, it doesn't usually change someone's mind, but if they're thinking about it, it's what made me sign up, because I had 4 bookings and I had that $200 credit card and she told me I could make $100 a party. It's like, all right, I'll do 4 parties and then I'll figure out something else, you know? And then I just started this QR code. It doesn't necessarily work. It's my VIP group. It doesn't work that great because they turn these back into me. But I put it on there. I don't know if I like that. The organization fundraiser opportunity and the catalog in-person shows when you can book catalog parties. Like, they fill this out. It's nice. I like it. I recommend. And when I'm telling them this is their meal ticket, I also say, I was like, and you have to fill out the whole door prize, or you're gonna have to look me in the eye and tell me the answers to all these. And they laugh again. And again, I say it as joking. I don't go and find the people and be like,
Right.
But it's just silly. Okay, so the day after the party, I'll text my host and say, it was so much fun last night. Thanks for having me. Loved your friends. You're already this far in sales. Can you think of who didn't make it? And if there's time, I'll do this at the party. I'll actually talk to them about it. And then within a week, I email everyone that's from the table party, everyone that ordered, everyone that gave a door prize that didn't order. I email them one last chance to order or share the link. I think I have this email, hold on. And then before I finalize their party with the host, I say, do you want to pencil in for next year? You can be one of your 3 booking buddies. And then, let's see. Oh, and then I show the fun on social media. So, a couple examples. This is an example of my email. You guys can probably do a better email than me, but this is an example of what I do. I order, host. If she was a new consultant, you would have made this much money. Okay, and those are the things I like. I usually put the recipes in, and I put the table party for them to check out, because if they join the table, then I've got their info connected to them there. So, and then I have my Facebook page there. So I always try to email. And so when I book a party, another thing I do is I start a draft email that says, thanks for attending so-and-so's party. And that way, if it's in my email draft, I know I haven't sent it yet, then I'm not done with that party yet. Hope this is making sense. Okay, here's some of my social media. Every time I do an in-person party, I'll say, thanks so much, for doing this fantastic party. This one, during the summer, I did cutest flip-flops instead of ugliest spatula. And this lady, taped and glued spatula and all kinds of Pampered Chef products to her things. And of course she won. And guess what? This is Cheryl. She's purchased from me 3 times since that party. And she got her daughter to order during my Thanksgiving sale. So just things like, thanks so much, maybe how much they earned. This was a bridal shower, $2,500 worth of new Pampered Chef items. You know, just that kind of thing. I want them to see the fun, right? Okay. And then what other cooking show stuff has been successful for you?
I have a question. So you're saying that, and I know you said this before, so you're saying that with the 3-party booking bonus, that they can be their own booking, and you were saying that it could be even within a year? Or did I miss you on
Yes.
that? Okay.
Yeah. Currently so the question was, being a 3-party booking Barney, yes, you can be your own.
Okay.
And our current system now, this could change, I don't know, but 6 months is what you communicate. But the system only goes off past host through email, and so it doesn't know that it's only been 6 months. So if you re-up their PhD, and by the way, I say that a lot too, I'm like, we gotta get her PhD tonight. Did you guys know she's getting a PhD? It's her past host discount. So when they re-up that, it automatically like links their name to who booked. Yeah. Any other questions?
Like, what's your sample menu? What's your go-to menu?
Fajitas in the quick cooker, risotto in the quick cooker, appetizers. I always have a lava cake in the microwave.
I do beer bread all the time with the olive oils.
That's a good idea. Beer bread is a good idea. I just have been doing the same thing, almost always fajitas. That covers healthy in a hurry, budget friendly, dinner under pressure. It covers easy weeknight meal.
Margaritas.
Covers fajitas and margaritas.
Yum.
Fiesta. It covers all of them.
Plus it's also gluten free.
And it's gluten free, dairy free can be.
You said in the quick cooker or in the rock cup?
I do it in the multi-cooker.
Multi-cooker.
Yeah, but I've also done it on the double burner grill pan, in the rock crock, in the on the sizzle skillet, all those things. Now I do have an appetizer party too. Well, I'll make. I can't remember. Oh, chicken chipotle nacho dip, like fajitas, right?
Right.
Yeah. So any other questions or like tips from others?
So one tip that I picked up, cause I was virtual, and I probably didn't do my first in-home party until I was about 10 months in, and I had no one here to teach me how to do an in-home party. So I went to YouTube, and the lady whoever the lady was that did her thing, had this, she would create 3 bags. And so you create 3 little party
Yes.
bags, and in those usually I'll put like a season's best, and I usually throw in like, a little pan scraper
Mm-hmm.
or citrus peeler or something. And so when I set those around and I say, okay, when you book your show tonight, you get to open a gift. And you get to take a gift home with you. So I typically will always take those with me, and may not always get rid of all 3 of them, but I usually will give away at least 1 or 2
Yeah.
to have them there, because it's a visual and they get to see it, and then you open it up and I was like, oh, look at that, I want that. So that's something that I learned.
Love that.
Yeah.
There's some really great cooking show games. I don't have like prepared for you, but one of my favorite is the booking pylon. It's like laminated host rewards, and you like pin them to your apron or to someone else. Like I'll have the host stand there in an apron and I'll pin it to. I think I have that on video. I could probably share somewhere. Any other tips or questions?
This was another one that was in here. It says just a phone call away. At the beginning of the party, ask everybody to take out their phone and then dial your number.
Yeah.
And then whoever gets through first wins. But then you tell them to put your number.
Yes,
On
I've
your
done that
phones.
one for sure. Text me your favorite product,
Oh, okay.
or who's going to be the first one.
Yeah.
And I'll pull. Yeah, that's a great game. What was your thing?
So mine's a 2-part question. First part, do you have a kit bag, or do you raid your kitchen every time you prepare for your party? And if you have a kit bag, what do you keep in it?
I have a kit bag. I put everything in it for fajitas. The only thing that I don't have 2 of yet is the rapid prep mandolin and the close and cut. So those two things, I know if I see them in my kitchen, I gotta put them back in my bag. I probably just need to get them. But yeah, I do enough cooking shows where it makes sense for me to have the bag packed and I don't have to unpack it again. But if you're not at that point, please don't feel like you can't do this without, because for years I just had one.
How are you not gonna work weekends, but you're still doing live cooking shows?
Yeah,
Or work nights?
that was my dream question. So,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I was just making sure I didn't miss something.
Yeah.
I love doing a picture too when I remember, so I always ask my host, please remind me to take a picture. But I did start asking permission. I'm like, is everybody okay for me to
Oh, that's
post
a
this
good smart thing
on
to do.
Face?
Yeah.
Because I had somebody say something once. So I say, is everybody okay with that? This is why
Okay.
I'm doing it.
Yeah. That's
So,
smart.
When I started, I had real little ones, and I only had one of some of the Pamper Chef products.
Yeah.
But I had a cabinet that I kept a Rubbermaid tote in.
Yeah.
And it shut, so my 3-year-old couldn't get into it. So whenever I went to a party, all my Pamper Chef tools were there.
Perfect.
So if
Yeah.
somebody's wondering about, if you can't have a bag, at least you could have all your tools there.
Yeah.
or make a checklist.
Yeah.
I have a kid.
Well, and I'm one of those like visual processors, so it is not uncommon for me to throw everything in my bag on the table and like think through it, especially if it's been a while.
Okay, so as I mentioned, I'm a mostly virtual consultant, but I'd like to get more into cooking shows. So what I struggle with is when I'm asking people for bookings is being able to transition over from asking for the virtual booking versus an in-home party.
From a virtual to the in-home.
Yeah, like not that they're booking a virtual, but like I'm so used to asking for online parties that I want to have more in-home parties.
Yeah.
So I'm used to asking for online, and I think that's what I just kind of
Yeah.
almost do that automatically.
So you guys may have other ideas, but that's easy, right? Like I look and I see if they're a 314 or 636, and I know you guys know you're out of Illinois.
Yeah.
And I'll say, looks like we live pretty close. Are we thinking of gathering friends or doing online or both?
So
It is. It's just easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with the new year, you can always say, this year I'm
Focusing on,
focusing on in-home parties for those local to
You know.
me.
If you know they're local, I love getting together and doing a recipe. Do you want to add on an in-person event as well?
So how are you incorporating the table invite, and are you not doing anything like event or on Facebook?
I try not to use Facebook if I can avoid it. If they do a Facebook event, I ask them to invite me, and I'll do stuff there. Table is pre-set up, and if people join, I get an email so I can, thank them for coming or whatever. And at the end, I'll have their contact information.
But how are you getting hosts to share that table link?
Anybody that says no, like if they say no, this is our online version.
So they invite them, if they say, no, I can't come, then you say, oh, okay, well, how about,
We're gonna miss you. Here's the online
Okay.
version if you want to join.
do you do more than one recipe at a party?
I usually do a sweet and a savory.
Okay.
And typically it's the lava cake, and that is like mixed up in the deep cover baker or rock crock. And I show plopping icing in with a scoop and putting it in the microwave. That's it.
Is there a certain day of the week where you feel like if you schedule it
Nope.
that day, you get more attendance?
Every day works.
And how?
Sometimes I have less luck on Saturdays.
Saturdays? Okay.
Saturdays seem to be a little tougher for people.
Okay, and then how far out do you usually book it? Like 3 weeks, 2 weeks?
Anytime.
And when you book it online, can it be in-person and table at the same time?
Sure.
Why not?
One of my last parties that I did in home, like I do very rarely, so that's why I wanna do that, but what I did was, she had friends that she knew couldn't come, so I actually ran, an online party, and then the last night, or no, it was the second. So like my parties usually end on a Thursday, and then I do my wrap-up on Friday, so I did her party on Thursday, so we could still do the wrap-ups all on the same day, and then I did in home on that Thursday. which actually worked out really well because then we grabbed everybody that couldn't be there kind of ahead of time, and then it was a pretty good party in person, so.
I did
And-
the same thing, and I set up one of those ring lights, and I went live for the party. while I
Yes,
was
I've done that
talking
before
too.
too, yep.
I would say always do an online party, even if you're asking them
Let's
online or in
see.
person. If they say in person, you're setting up an online party, because why not? Yeah, and you can do an event, and when I did Facebook, it always had my thing, and I was like, we're also live on Facebook for anyone joining, but I won't be looking at you.
I'll throw some cooking show things that I think work well out there. First, if you're just starting with cooking shows, then I would encourage you to only book the same day every week, because consistency and making your family used to you being gone on a certain night. If you're like in your head, Thursday's my cooking show night, Thursday's my cooking show night, then by the third Thursday that you're gone, then your family's like, oh yeah, mom has cooking shows on Thursday nights. And so for years and years, when my kids were little, Tuesday nights was Boy Scouts. David knew he was Jordy's a Boy Scout too. He was gonna take the kids to Boy Scouts. And then, I did 2 shows a week, because that's what Nancy Jo Ryan told me to do at my first conference. And so Tuesdays and Thursdays were the only nights I offered. Don't ever say, when would you want to do it? Because they're going to pick your mom's birthday. They're going to
The
pick
last day of the month.
Yeah,
too.
they're going to pick the worst day possible, and then you're in an awkward position, right? So better to only offer specifically when you want to work. If you offer it, that's what they will book. I am all for years, I didn't have 2 of everything like Patty. And my Rubbermaid tub was under my kitchen sink on the left side. I cleaned all the stuff out and moved it to the right side, and my tub went there. And so as my stuff came out of my dishwasher, because back then I needed to get home when I first started, because I had a baby that I still needed to put to bed. So I brought that tub home dirty. I put the baby to bed. I loaded the dishwasher, turned it on, and I went to bed. In the morning, all my tools from my demo went back in that tub. Automate. When you can make it automatic, it becomes where you don't have to think about it so much. You don't have to be worried you're going to forget something. And Katie tricks them to pick the same recipe. I don't offer them a choice. I say, this month our menu is. Because I want to show things that I know I can use tools for the host special for the months I'm booking. And so I incorporate that, and I just tell them what the menu is. I also think, and she does the same thing, but when they talk up the menu, that's what gets people excited to come. So make sure your host is talking up that menu. Yeah. So I don't know, there's probably more, but that's all I can think of right now.
And I, one of the things I'm gonna talk about in like the next, on my watch, I don't know what time it is. Then the next little segment is about like you getting to choose your life and creating the life that you want. And so whatever dates you choose, oh my gosh, I find the best attendance is on Tuesday and Thursday nights. Is there a Tuesday or Thursday that could work for you? And maybe you have a backup plan if they're like, oh no, I can't, but that really works. And for the longest, I'm like, I do parties on Fridays and Sunday afternoons. Which one works better for you? Like, just like your doctor's office would. Oh, I can't do those at all. Sometimes you make exceptions, but for the by and large, people will accommodate. Any other thoughts on cooking shows or things that
I would say, kind of like going along with Michelle, if you are just starting off, do the same recipe over and over. Don't
get
give
better.
them, stick no more than 2. I don't care if they have 40 people coming. You're doing 2. They can provide other things. Because you want to know that recipe where you don't have to think about it. You want to concentrate on the products, not that. Don't be like giving, I'm putting in a half a cup of this, because then they're writing down the recipe. You want them focusing on the products.
And you don't wanna be a caterer.
Right.
Yeah,
those are the
you, I
worst.
don't care what they say, I'm not doing more than 2
No.
recipes. They can have all the appetizers they want, but
And it's a sampling, it's not a meal.
just
Right,
come
it's
into-
not a feeding
Yeah,
frenzy,
yeah, so you don't
right.
have to worry about providing the whole meal and,
Oh, when they say, I bought double of everything,
Yeah, you're
'cause I
like,
thought I was gonna have a
wonderful.
lot of people here.
I'm like, awesome, and you can put that in your food.
And if you do make the same recipe, which, you know, even Katie's way, she's making the same recipe over, how long you been doing fajitas?
11 years.
Yeah. So don't feel like you have to offer something new all the time. They don't notice it's the same thing.
Yep.
You know, how many years have we
I
made
was
this
actually
Mexican
gonna-
soup? Yeah.
Oh, we've
How
made,
many
I'm
years?
gonna add the Mexican soup. I need that recipe.
Oh, it was so
it's
good. I'll
just
put
the
it in
chicken
the event.
tortilla soup.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We make that every January, but we
Every-
made pork
yeah.
tenderloin when the deep cover
Oh,
baker
my
first
Lord.
came
Oh, my
out.
God.
And we did the
Yeah.
$99 deal or whatever. We made
$99
pork
set.
tenderloin
Salad chopper.
for a couple
And a
of
rub.
years.
Years.
So,
Pork
I
tenderloin.
just thought of
Pork
something I wanted else to share. Anybody like never done a party? Never done one in person?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
there's a lot of people.
Start at your house.
Mhm.
Just do your own party. Say, I want to learn how to do a cooking show. Everyone tells me they're so great. Has anyone ever been to a cooking show? Ask that online. And then say, I'm gonna do it on Saturday. It might be ridiculous, but come on, I'm gonna learn how to do it with you. And they will come. And they will book parties.
Yeah. I'm gonna give you my recipes that we make our soup recipe. And seriously, you're in control of your own calendar. So if you're here and you're like, I need shows, book your own cooking show at your house, like in the next 10 days. Don't let the month slip by. Don't plan it for the end of January. Do it fast. Do it in the next week. People know what they're doing Tuesday. They don't necessarily know what they're doing Tuesday in March.
Right.
And so plan it now.
And you might even, what I'm gonna do, I've been in my house for 18 years and don't know my neighbors. I'm gonna do a door to door and invite people and tell them it's a no buy party.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a
I
great
just
idea.
want them to come and see me
Yep.
practice, cause it's been 3 years since I've done a real show.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's really a booking party.
Right?
Yeah.
Right, absolutely.
The no buy party is a great idea.
Yeah.
So fun,
Yeah.
especially if you feel like you've overused your customers or something like that. Now listen, they're gonna wanna buy. Are you sure you can?
Right.
Yeah. Sure you can. Let me show you a couple other things real quick, before we transition here. I have, we were talking about bookings earlier, and this is totally off subject, but I have a couple things. Okay, I wanna show you this picture.
Your face.
Okay, what you guys just did, this is magic, all right? You send out your booking ask, they don't reply.
Right.
Doesn't matter why they didn't reply, but 2 days later, and I use a notebook, and I number, so a notebook has 30 lines,
Mhm.
right? I number 1 to 30 before I get started. This is what you're gonna do at the end of the day. 1 to 30, I write down their name. Did they reply right away? Whatever. Get my 30 asks out, and then when they reply, I circle the number so I know they replied, and I write down my notes. All right. For anybody that's not circled, the next time I do a booking blitz, I go back and I pull up their number or their messenger and I send them Chloe. That's it, just Chloe.
That's why I bought a dog. I'm just kidding.
And this is my Chloe Belle. She's
Her
Oh,
face.
She's very old, but she's the sweetest, cutest dog I've ever seen. And what happens is it says, you know, Katie sent you a picture or media file instead of texting.
Right.
And I got this trick from Steve and Joseph at a retreat, but it is amazing. Now you'll get a lot more no's, but you will get replies, and that feels good. When I get to circle
Yeah.
those numbers, I feel excited about it.
Right.
And sometimes you'll be surprised, like, oh, what a cute dog, and I meant to message you. I would do it, but it's going to be this time. Second tip is if someone doesn't say no, not ever, not interested, please don't message. If they don't say that, my reply is, thank you so much for getting back. What time frame would you invite me to ask you again about booking a party, or you know, whatever I said before? In the meantime, here's my customer group. I'd love for you to be a part of it. Link. Have an awesome day. So they don't have to reply to this, but almost everyone does. And they reply in 2 ways. And this is how you clarify. It's a not now, not ever thing, but it's Katie's soft approach because I'm a total coward. When I will not I am not assumptive closing anybody. And that's just a choice I made. When would you invite me to check back in with you about this? And then they say one of two things. Well, probably in a couple weeks.
I know.
Right.
Or they're like, yeah, probably in the summer. Actually, and then they tell you their life story. My
Right.
daughter's graduating
Right.
in May, and so I was thinking of doing a party, and so it'd probably be around July. Oh my gosh, July is the best month. We should pencil in this, one of these 2 Fridays that I'm available. And I would try to actually book the party, even if it's way out. Now I know it's tentative if it's far out, but anyway, you'll be so shocked when they tell you, no matter when it is, and you have your follow-up system. If I go to her in July and it's been 6 months and I say, hey Sally, I promised that I would message you in the summer about doing our party. I'm so excited to work with you. We said July. If we said July, I usually start parties on Fridays. Which Friday this month is best just to invite friends to a party? That wording is my golden wording, and I don't know that my golden wording would be your wording, but you want to find it. What feels right to you? And for me, it's when would you invite me to ask you about this again? The second kind of response you're going to get is, I'll just contact you. I'm not really interested. I'll just contact you. And so, like, in person, this is like when you're like, so are you saying that right now because, like, tomorrow's not a good time, or like you're just trying to be nice? Like, I can pull that off in person, but on text, I need them to tell me. And so if they say, I'll contact you, I can just not worry about them again.
Right.
Right.
All right, cool. Those are my 2. Oh, and then Katie and I were talking about, she was saying she's done so many booking blitzes here recently, like, I don't know who I'm going to, and she came up with the idea of messaging her VIP group. And that's a great place to start. Go down one by one.
Yeah.
I noticed we didn't do a party for you yet. Can I share the specials with you? I'd love to spoil you and thank you for being part of my community.
That's a great idea.
You could add a prize to it or whatever. Okay, that's what I got. And I think probably stop the recording and start again.
Yep.